pieces of the puzzle always freezes on me. It's almost too late for you and me. I want to drink in the way of which he would have done, drinking like he would stop being fun at the end of the day. If I can't have you to myself, don't want anyone else. Something's gone I can't replace. Don't want anyone, anyone, anyone. Take one, a photograph you can rely on. You're wasting your time, you'll never have one. A photo of a moment complete. Pull on the best black dress you could spill wine on, and look at the tears from all his fake friends that you won't see again. And if I can't have you to myself, don't want anyone else. Something's gone I can't replace. Don't want anyone. And if I can't have you to myself, don't want anyone else. Something's gone I can't replace. Don't want anyone. Don't want anyone. I wish you could see me now. I'm out in the world on my own, and I wish you could see me now. I'm out in the world on my own. 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 I'm out in the world on my own.
Lave Radio, Lave Radio, Lave Radio, Lave Radio. Listen to Day-Dio.
Dangerous podcast. It's the elite.
Lave Radio, so much to say, Dio.
This side of DSO, we're loving the heat.
I hope someone knows what we're talking about.
They mean disco.
Lave Radio, it's here to stay, Dio. Orange Sidewinder.
This is your crew.
Lave Radio, hey, 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 Dio. With second technician
Forrester 2. Scump.
It's a podcast that's based on a game. Not to listen would be such a shame. It makes other stations sound very lame. That's Lave Radio.
Ooh, swing your pants.
No, Simon, we're not them. We're pink custard.
We cut the mustard.
We're never flustered.
We can be trusted.
Lave Radio, this song's for you.
For the Orange Sidewinder crew.
Elite Dangerous is what you do.
And then you talk a lot about it too.
Lave Radio, ready to play Dio.
Search for their website
And off you go. Lave Radio, nothing to pay Dio. Sci-fi gamer, DJ fans,
This is your show.
Oh, it's a niche audience then. This is radio online called Lave. With DJs Chris's, Alan, John,
But not Dave.
forever surfing internet airwaves. That's Lave Radio. It's a podcast that's based on
Broadcast from an orange sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician. It's Lave Radio.
Attention. Would you like to reorder, rate, or rate? Would you like to do so?
Space can be loaded.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 223 of Lave Radio, the show that talks about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host for the first time, Commander Suverin, and joining me in the Orange Sidewinder for this episode are Edelweiss,
I don't want to trip over these small rocks.
Commander Kurgle,
Hey, good evening.
Commander Phoenix Defier,
Good.
who I assume is here, Commander Shan,
Hello.
Mac Winston from the East India Company,
Yep. Good evening from Waypoint 4.
and another guest, Alec Turner.
Howdy, folks, from Punesh 2C.
And we are here at the site of Alec's new race, where a few of our crew are going to be trying the Pomesh Ridge Challenge. How's everybody's weeks been? I've largely been flying around in VR doing exactly the same as I was doing last week, which is quite fun. Ben, what's your week been like?
I had a surprise wife announcement that she just, well, not announcement, a surprise wife drop in on me, which was excellent.
What did your existing wife think?
No, it's just, I work in Birmingham, as probably most people know, and unexpected to me, my wife decided, and I work from home on Mondays, and yesterday afternoon I was just working away, and all of a sudden I hear the door go, and I look outside and there's somebody with their hood up, and just, I was like, oh, who's this? So I was like, toddle off downstairs, and they just walk in the house. I'm like, what the bleep are you doing with walking in the house? And then I saw it was my wife. I was like, what are you doing here? So that was awesome.
Where's she supposed to be?
Oh, she was meant to be up in Rotherham looking after the kids.
Yeah.
But she left them with her mother. You know, she doesn't just leave like the house alone with the 2-year-olds running amok.
Jolly good. That's good to hear. What about you, Kurgle? Any surprise wife visits?
No surprise wife visit, sadly. I have.
If you had a wife visit, that would be a hell of a surprise.
It would very much so be a surprise if a wife visited. But no, I've been buried in my books like a little bookworm, doing lots of homework, getting the first one of my assignments ready to go. Got a week left, so of course I'm going to do an episode this week because I just need a break. I need a break.
Does that mean you finished school on the day that 3.3 releases?
I finished school close. I finished school on Thursday of that week, and then I'm not back till the 8th of January. Hooray!
Lovely. Fortuitous timing.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Jolly good. Shan, what have you been up to?
I have been Christmas shopping. I have all my Christmas presents now, so I can sit back and look smug for a month. And in game, I have been going out to various sites ready for the release of Chapter 3 of Beyond. So I've
kind
got
of sites?
certain sites of interest that I wish to put my name on.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I thought about. I've got a pair of binary Earth-likes that I discovered a couple of years ago in the core, and I keep thinking that I ought to go out and hover furtively around them until 3.3 drops, so I can get the planetary scan. But I can't really be bothered. How far away is your furthest?
Far enough.
Very cagey. Fair enough. And Phoenix Defier, are you with us?
I hope I am.
You are now. Yep.
Oh, good. You can hear me now.
How's your week?
Oh, let's see. I was just shooting up a couple of Thargoids yesterday, as I always do on a Monday night, and I'm getting my ASP ready to do something similar to Chishan. There's a system that I have very close to my heart that I want to make sure I get first mapped on. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Preparation work.
Missing a trick there.
It's quite an interesting challenge, really, because if you go too far away, then you almost have to buckyball it back and identify a system where you can go and sell your data. Or if you go too close, again, you run the risk of being gazumped by people.
I reckon. Do you reckon there'll be quite a few of the famous systems that in the couple of evenings before the new release, there'll be like a few commanders just like hanging around in open, scoping each other out?
I'm pretty certain places like Beagle Point and stuff like that will have multiple commanders ready to buckyball it back.
Yeah.
There might be a bloodbath on the way back when you think about it.
That'd be quite good fun, actually.
It'd be like wacky races, wouldn't it, with big dastardly?
That sounds quite apt for tonight, doesn't it?
It does, rather, yeah. Which brings us neatly on to what we're doing. Has everybody lined up at the start line?
More or less, yeah. It's a wibbly wobbly line, but it's a line.
Yeah, we're here roughly.
I can see you've got Alec and Edelweiss, and who's that? That looks like, is that Kurgle? There's a very black SRV there. Who's that? Not coming up with a commander name. And yeah, so there's 4 here. It looks like
are you not somewhere near us, Colin? I think you were
right
here
next to you.
I see. Right. Oh, I see. You're there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right next to you in a chrome SRV.
Oh, you're okay. Because nighttime, that's why it's black.
So you've got Edelweiss in an orange one, Alec Turner in yellow, and then a chrome and possibly a default one. I'm not sure. Oh, that's definitely Kurgle because he's got the orange jumpsuit. I can see his avatar. Alec, do you want to tell us about the Pomesh Ridge Challenge?
About the race. Yeah, I can't remember where I got the idea from. I think it was Delta Squadron maybe did a ridge thing on a different planet where they had this ridge, and the challenge was just to see how far you could get along it. And I just loved driving along it. I mean, I spent like days and days doing it. It was really good fun. And I've been wanting to do a standing challenge for a long time, like the Sagittarius A thing that's just there whenever somebody fancies a go. So yeah, just recently I did some scouting and found this ridge, which is perfect because it's east-west, so the finish lines are really easy. You start at 60 degrees and you finish at 62, 64 and 65. Yeah, so it's just the race is here now for as long as people want to do it, really. I mean, I don't plan on sort of shutting down the forum thread, so, you know, 6 months from now, somebody wants to have a go, they can just take a shot at the scoreboard and send me the times.
Lovely. Oh, by the way, listeners, we are aware that Alex sounds like he's speaking to an old loudspeaker at an open-air racetrack, but we decided to leave it that way because it sounds authentic.
Yeah, I like it. I'll stick with it.
Did you know that you were going to use Pomesh 2C?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the other planet I did it on was quite a way out of the bubble, whereas this is perfect. It's sat here in the bubble. The sun sort of rises and sets, so, you know, people get a chance to do it in the daylight, hopefully occasionally. Yeah, it's perfect, and everyone knows it. You know, Pomesh is legendary.
Yeah, true, yeah. Did you spend a long time scouting the planet?
Yes, I did. Yeah. I don't know. I wanted a ridge that ran. I like the idea of it being east-west, so you just had to use coordinates for the finish line. And I just kind of. Yeah, and I just flew around. I flew around until I saw this one and thought, perfect. And the way it gets harder and harder is narrower and narrower as you get further along it. It's just perfect. It's lovely.
Yeah. Do you anticipate an extension, like maybe like a gold one at the very end, or does it just peter out to the point where you can't carry on?
I had a nice idea about doing a kind of off-piste challenge, which is to not speed, but to get as far as you can. But you can eventually, it kind of tails off, and you can kind of get down to ground level if you follow it all the way to the end. And then basically you can go around the whole planet. So there was no obvious kind of.
I reckon you ought to wrap it up into a circumnavigation.
Yeah, funny enough, a circumnavigation of Pamesh is intriguingly at the back of my mind. I don't know if it's possible.
Fair enough. Right, and how many people have submitted time so far?
We've had loads, actually. It's looking really good. We've got 15 in the blue run, 14 in the red run, and 10 in the black. A lot of those are the same people. So we've got about 15 people so far.
Yeah. Are most people doing all three?
I'm guessing people do what I do, which is they start off on the blue, and then if it's going well, they keep going, and if it's going well, they keep going.
Yeah.
So I think people who have done the blue and not the red, I'm assuming they fell off.
Yeah, fair enough. There must be quite a. I imagine that all of the ones who start the blue probably have great intentions to finish, but the numbers dwindle towards the end as people just.
Yeah, I think it's quite nice the way it tails off. So what did I say? 15, 14, 10.
Yeah. Have you done it yourself yet?
Oh yeah, loads of times.
Are you one of the front runners?
I was. I'm not going to spoil it, but I did have a submission today, which means. So I was the front runner in all three when I started, just because I sort of laid down some times for people to beat. And then this morning I was no longer front runner in red or black, and as of about an hour ago, I'm no longer front runner in blue, but I won't spoil the surprise for who that is.
Congratulations, one lucky person. Are you anticipating sort of the same buckyball crew that normally compete, or have you had a nice mix of strangers?
It's quite a good mix of strangers, actually. The SRV sort of attracts a slightly different crowd, I think. And over the years, I've become aware of certain people and groups that are really into their SRV driving, and I've kind of reached out to them. But we've got some new people, a bit like with the truckers up Teed in their mountain climb. With it, there were a lot of people that showed up to that I hadn't really been aware of that were just amazing drivers.
Yeah. I guess it is actually a little bit more. The thing about racing, even if it's a time trial, is we all think, oh well, that's going to take like the people who place high they'll have spent hours engineering the perfect ships, whereas an SRV race is kind of inherently quite egalitarian because all the SRVs are the same. So it's actually got refreshingly low entry requirements, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. It feels like it's all about skill. That sounds a bit big-headed, but but you know what I mean.
Yeah, fair enough. Ben, are you doing it tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing it tonight, though. I have to admit, I'm going to be going for the wooden spoon challenge, I think. Yeah. Probably, I suspect, actually, all of us might be doing that.
Well, I've submitted a request or a suggestion to the organizer that I act as a kind of incentive. So I've got three overcharged cannons on this courier, and each of them have the force shell effect, which makes people spin out. So I reckon if anybody's doing particularly well, I ought to just position myself maybe 2/3 of the way along and just pot shot the track. Just spice it up. Any thoughts?
I'm regretting my wanted status now.
I think it's an excellent idea.
I concur.
Good stuff. Jolly good. Well, do you guys want to start off your runs then, and we'll just while you guys are getting started,
You
we'll quickly.
missed a very important part. So
Go on.
Bathroom update.
Ah, damn! I fell at the first hurdle. Time for the bathroom update.
No, there's not. It's nothing's happened. I've not even used it yet. I mean, that's the.
What, the bathroom?
Is it just an ornamental bathroom?
It's just a pipe sticking through a wall. I mean, honestly, we're gonna get there. The door's up, which looks amazing, and we are getting ever closer to Moof's health is definitely getting close to the point where he can bend over for more than 5 minutes. So, fingers crossed, it's all good. I thought you were going to say the important bit, which was the video about what you guys are about to do.
We did do a Sagittarius Eye did a short promo video for the race. If anybody's got it to hand, it would be cool to show it. I'm not streaming, so.
Is that the one I was given, Ben?
That's the one you was given.
Okay, right. We can definitely do that.
Can we just pull in past Suv? Do you think?
Yeah, listeners, the speaker in this video might be vaguely familiar to those with sharp ears. We're going to play it now?
On the 22nd of November, 3304, Commander Alec Turner announced a new race in association with the Buckyball Racing Club. The Pomesh Ridge Challenge is a racing course designed to put a pilot's SRV driving skills to the test on a ridge on the surface of the famed planet Pomesh 2c. The race itself has 3 routes: the Blue Run, the Red Run, and the hardest difficulty, the Black Run. The starting line for the race is at a sizable landing area at the coordinates of 13 degrees by -60 degrees. In order to participate, pilots must take a photo at the beginning and the end of their run, and send these photos to Alec Turner along with their name, the name of their SRV, the run they are on, and their achieved time. Attempts can be made at any time, and the challenge is open to any commander. This has been a Sagittarius Eye Bulletin.
Well, there you go. Wasn't that lovely? And wasn't the newsreader sonorous and melodious?
Yes, I thought a very nice voice.
Captain, are you sure about this? I think we're going pretty close to that start. Captain,
You got your droppings going on there, Grant.
Oops! I just moved on to the next video. I forgot to stop it.
Grant?
Shall we, don't know what that was. Shall we, do you guys want to start the race?
Should we wait for Nephilius to drop in on us? Because he's just coming round. I think he's skirting the planet at orbital velocity.
Ah, fair enough. Well, while he's flying in to join you, there's been a bit of development news this week that we probably ought to just touch on, particularly final tweaks to the ships and the big news regarding UA bombing. Anybody catch that?
Caught both of them. I'm glad that we're going to be getting these Mamba tweaks. I'm not convinced about the Mamba at the moment, as we discussed last week, but she's meant to be a hot rod, and she isn't at the moment, apart from where it counts, I guess, in that you try and boost and you explode.
Yeah, well, I mean, Will's post did give the impression that they want to get back to that.
Yeah.
I'll just read it out. Hello, Commanders. Thanks for all the feedback on this. The Mamba has been through a number of changes, but balances and tweaks do still need to be made, and your comments will be taken into consideration. The Mamba balances we introduced in Beta Week 4 were an attempt to reduce issues with reverse speeds, random, but our feeling is that this just pushes it further away from its role as a hot rod ship. We'll be looking at speed and boost drain, although we want to avoid perma-boosting with stock, bringing it a bit closer to its original flight model in Beta Week 3. We'll be getting these changes implemented as soon as possible, due to time constraints, blah, 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 might arrive in a patch shortly after the launch of 3.3. So it sounds like they went back. It sounds like they moved away from speed and added a bit more maneuverability, and now we're going completely back the other way.
Well, what they did, they moved away from speed and maneuverability, and just basically left it handling what I would imagine is like one of those MR2s with a Ferrari body kit on it. So I welcome they changed it. I mean, I'm not sure I'll buy one from day one because it's a third lance analog. But if there's some good paint, it is. It's pretty much a third lance analog. Really, it's an equivalent, pretty
The
much.
third lance is known as being very manoeuvrable, which this is deliberately not. Alec, I saw in your video that you've been flying one.
I don't know. It's not as fast as it should be, and it's not as manoeuvrable as it should be. I love the look of it. I mean, I think it's a bit of a kind of like a vanity ship. I mean, it looks great. I love the look of it, but I don't know that it performs well enough.
Do you think they should swap the performance then? Give the Mamba the third lance's performance? Because basically, the third lance is supposed to be a bounty ship, almost, isn't it? It's the bounty hunter who wants to look good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think I think if they were worried about combat balance, I mean, just give it more forward speed. So it's like some kind of muscle car, and it goes amazingly in a straight line. I don't even mind if it doesn't turn that well, but I just feel it needs to go as fast as it looks like it should.
Yeah, Ben, have you flown it?
I've flown it, yeah, but I kind of get the feeling it should be it's a racing ship, and frankly, get rid of the big gun. If it's a racing ship, why does it need a great big effing gun?
Yeah, good point.
Is it a racing ship though? I mean, the blurb about it is that it's taken from an unused racing prototype, but then it was adapted from that. So I don't think it's meant to be a racing ship. I think there's a subtle distinction, but I think it was taken from a racing prototype rather than being a racing ship itself.
Yeah, I think that's why I would like it to. We've got combat ships all over the place. We've got large ships. We've got the third lance. Let's get a kick-ass ship for doing that mad stuff that commanders do, where they're sort of circling around stations and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. That would be
And we don't have a ship that does that. Yeah.
We don't have a game mechanic that does that, really. Not that flags up a time and stuff like that. It'd be useful if they had proper races in the game to use a racing ship rather than having to rely on.
But we've still got the sandbox that
people
for us.
Yeah, people have done races, haven't they? Where you'll start in a station and do like a circuit of the station, and then come back through the docking bay, and
yeah,
you get races like that all the time. I've been in a few of them; they're a lot of fun.
But they're not timed, are they? There's not like a clock that pops up.
No, it tends to be like 6 people racing each other. So
it can be timed. I think the buckyballers do one that's circuits of a station. That's a time trial, I think.
Yeah, there's the Okanura Sprint, which is it's the thing the elite do where you come out station, loop round the habitation ring, round the back, round the habitation ring. That's a timed one.
Yeah. Phoenix, have you flown the Mamba?
Yeah, I have. It's I didn't like it the first time round. I didn't. To me, it needed better pitch. It needed to turn better because it felt that for a ship with that kind of armament, being outturned by a Cobra was not good. I mean, personally, I would prefer it to be closer to the further land so that the PvP crowd have got a choice of something more than the FDL, because when it comes to PvP, it's FDL or nothing.
Yeah, but there's a fine line between making there be choice at the top and making ships that just fly similarly, I think.
Well, in some cases, I mean, weapon loadout is different enough, but still, similar. It does say similar damage, but it gives you a different kind spec to differentiate. But I don't see it being picked up by the PvP crowd or even myself, because I don't like the turn rate as it was. I much prefer the turn rate in the second beta.
Okay, that's interesting. And it sounds like they're going to go back towards the initial one. So we can expect maneuverability to be nerfed a little bit, presumably. The thing about I haven't flown the Mamba much. I took it just for a quick spin, but I didn't even take it beyond the no fire zone. It struck me as a really beautiful ship, but if it kind of needs to be superlative at something in order to get people's attention. You know, it's not going to be the fastest because we've already got the Viper and the Imperial Eagle that can get up to 923, and it can't get close to that. And if it's not, and if it's only say 100 meters per second at boost faster than other PvP ships, it'll be passed over in favor of stuff that's more maneuverable, I reckon. So it does at the moment. It's not obvious that there's an audience for it, really.
Yeah, like I was saying, it feels like a vanity ship, really. You fly it because you like the look of it, but it doesn't really have a role it excels at.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. And there's been no word on any changes to the Crate Phantom. I haven't heard anything. Have any of you?
No, I haven't. Well, I think it's pretty much spot on, to be honest, what it's designed to do.
Everybody seems to really like it.
Yeah.
Which
again, personally, yeah, I think it's the perfect pirate ship. It really is. It's just got enough for the hatch breakers and the collector limpets, as well as the firepower that goes with it.
Yeah.
So I can see myself picking apart a few T9s with it, to be honest.
It seems one thing that is possibly a risk with new ships is steadily inflating kind of aptitudes, and the Crate Phantom does, like, I've heard people say that it's the perfect insert role here about loads of things like BGS ship, mining, exploration, now piracy. Like,
it's the new Python.
Well, good point. Yeah, but it doesn't seem it doesn't as a ship. It doesn't seem to have a weakness. So I wonder whether it's going to be very popular because it succeeds things, or whether it's like a genuinely new sort of ship style. Anyway, the other thing that came out of both Galnet and Frontier this week was the removal of UA bombing, which I was absolutely amazed by. I thought that UA bombing was a quite a cool feature, and one that they had really baked into the whole Thargoid storyline. So I was quite surprised to hear that had been removed.
I was surprised as well because I just hadn't really seen anyone particularly asking for it. Do you know what I mean? To be removed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do we think they did it?
Maybe it's because it was a complication for the background sim to take into account. I'm just spitballing here, but I'm a little bit sad they got it, because it was always a rather underhand tactic to use, but nevertheless it was one that people had to guard against. I don't know, maybe it was because of the incident a few months ago where everyone had to quickly race to near Colonia to save this station that had been under threat by UA bombing. Sorry, forgive me, I can't remember the name of it, but we did a piece on it, didn't we, on Lave Radio a few months back.
It was the Dove Enigma.
That's the one, yes.
Yeah,
maybe because of that, perhaps, or one of the reasons.
See, I thought that was quite cool, though. Like, a thing happened, and the community rallied around and went and dealt with it.
Yeah, I did.
I
6 months ago as well.
Yeah, I do
it had
think
a bit of emergent gameplay.
Yeah, but it was open to trolls who I mean, that's the whole thing about the Dove Enigma. I mean, it was trolled in the most horrible fashion, and it was a mechanic that allowed these trolls to really hurt people when there was no real need for it. I mean, as far as the mechanic itself was absolutely fine, but I think it was abused.
Yeah, Alec, have you ever done any UA bombing?
No, it's nice to hear that people here are kind of. It seems very clear cut on the forum, and everyone's like going, "Yay, UA bombing's gone." And my initial reaction was kind of a bit like yours. It was like, why? And I was a bit shocked because in a way, it's one of the few things in the game that gives players some form of agency. I mean, it's not great. It's a flawed mechanic, and it's a bit of a griefer mechanic. But at least it was some way that players could affect things, and then other players could fix things. It's like one of the only examples of that.
Yeah, and also it was a way for people to fight back against stuff happening in solo, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I thought it was great. I mean, I didn't do it, and I didn't defend against it. I like the idea of it.
I've heard some people say that the problem with UA bombing is that it was too easy to do and too difficult to counter.
Right.
But I've heard other people say that they had to, spend hours and hours and hours of dedicated game time to doing it, and it's also not the kind of thing that you can easily. It's not the kind of thing that you can use like macros or botting to kind of exploit either. I don't think so. It seems like an odd. It struck me as an odd target. I mean, I don't like you, Alec. I've never done it or defended against it, but it seemed like given the other things that are being exploited elsewhere in the game, it seemed an odd one to discontinue on trolling grounds.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could have just upped the effect of matter alloys on a UA bomb station if they wanted to balance it.
Yeah. So I mean, that leaves the option that maybe it's for a narrative reason. It did seem like it was a hand wavium lore explanation, but it could be that they want to do something else with Thargoid sensors in the future, or introduce some other kind of sort of player-driven tactic for taking stations out, and they didn't want Thargoid sensors to they didn't want UA bombing to confuse that potentially. I don't know.
I did like the way that they actually put in a proper lore reason for it stopping. I mean, that was actually quite nice. Instead of it's just not going to work anymore, but there was some genuine lore behind it, which helps with people's immersion, I suppose.
Yeah, true that. So the actual the post was. Greetings, commanders. From Thursday, November the 29th, selling Thargoid sensors at starports will no longer have any negative effect. As a result, UA bombing, as it has come known, will no longer be possible. Along with these changes, you will now be able to sell Thargoid items legally rather than via the black market. You will also see an in-game Galnet article explaining why this has changed. So there's no indication from the forum post what their reasoning is either. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Racers, is everybody still lined up, or has any of you started?
I think we're all pretty lined up at the moment. Nephilis is here, but he's just sitting in his spaceship, so I'm bored waiting for him.
I mean, it's a time trial, so you're not.
Well, exactly.
You might as well just crack on.
And your time started, Ben, at the start of the show.
Thanks. Oh well.
I'm ready when
do
you
you
are.
want to give us a countdown, Soof, and we'll crash into each other or something?
Yes. Cool. Okay, I'll count down from 5, or I could shoot my cannons as a.
This we need something like the theme tune from the Wacky Races.
I was just thinking that.
Eye bags Dick Dastardly. Right.
Right.
So does that make Ben Penelope pit stop?
Right. Go on the cannon fire. Something's going already. Get back in line.
It's Kurgle. You cheat already.
Such a cheat. Right. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And they're off. Alec, you're miles behind. Does he know something the others don't? So Alec took a slow start, but apparently that was to build a bit of air so that he could start his fliving technique, which for those of you who don't know is basically he flies the SRV a bit like a helicopter towards the finish line, spending as little time on the ground as possible. So he's caught up with the others pretty quickly. Who's in the lead? Is that Ben? I think you're in the lead, are you?
I don't think so. I think someone's over to my top right. I think.
What's that? Looks like a.
It's Kurgle. Oh, he just spun out though.
He did.
No.
The other thing that happened this week, which was quite exciting, is the long-awaited third episode of the Discovery Scanner series. I love these. I think these are
so good.
And there's only been 3 of them, which seems bizarre, saying as it was
Oh,
implemented.
that's a big hole.
It seems like there'd been more. I know it was the third, but I'm sure if you'd asked me, there'd have been about 5 or 6.
Yeah, I would as well. It's been about a year and 2 months since it started, because the first one was as a result of the how successful the presentation on the Stellar Forge was. But yeah, there's one on Stellar Forge, which I watched the other day, and it's fantastic. And then one on Thargons, which is really interesting. And then this one was on the audible asteroids. So Rostak, the one of the audio team at Frontier, talking about how they made that really iconic blast noise when you blow asteroids apart, which is something that everybody's commented on. And Alec, when you went in there to see Frontier before we knew anything about 3.3, it was one of the things that you actually commented on as well.
Yeah, I did. It was spectacular.
The audio
that live stream. It was brilliant.
Is just stunning.
Yeah,
I thought the fire alarm sound really realistic.
Classic.
They did say it was a hot build.
I mean, the way it sounded like it was in the building was just amazing.
Did they say? Did they explain what the fire alarm was for?
It was just a false alarm. They said, "Ow! I just got tripped over by a bloody rock again."
Oh, not a pebble, a rock.
Yeah, it was a pebble. Yeah.
For those listening, the racers are now a couple of kilometers in, I suspect, and one of them.
Alec is 3 kilometers ahead of us. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Right?
He's flying. I'm
he's in a ship.
No, he's
thriving or whatever.
Thriving. Yeah. If you want to learn how, we're doing the January issue of Sag-I has a piece about fliving in it.
Mm.
It's you can get up to 3 or 4 times the max speed of the SRV in it. Pretty clever. But yeah, the racers, they're all pulling apart from each other now. Alex clearly in the lead, and somebody's just been waylaid by a little nest of skimmers, which is quite funny.
I am down to 25% hull already, which is impressive.
It's always best when these races start to turn into explosions.
Oh, I just heard a boom, I think.
Wow, someone there's I'm being
Subaru,
shot
isn't it?
I'm just firing a couple of I'm just firing a couple of mine sharpeners at you.
Ah, okay.
It's working.
It's this Death Race 2000 or something now.
Yeah.
It feels like it now.
I think you need to go and slow slow Alec down, to be honest.
Yeah, fair one. All right, I'll go find Alec.
We had a race on the Minerva Centaurus expedition around the circular crater, and by a couple of laps, you didn't need markers around the race anymore. There are just so many corpses of SRVs scattered around. It was just... And this was like 60,000 light years into an expedition, so people were short of SRVs after that one.
Yeah, and SRVs are kind of handy if you're out on an expedition using for doing the rock rafting and stuff, isn't it?
And you can't.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, and you can't just print them either.
I wish SRV wrecks were persistent.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, every planet would just be covered in them then.
Yeah, but you know what people would do? They'd deliberately wreck their SRVs to make drawings.
They would.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And you know what those drawings would be of as well.
Yeah. The first thing would be a Willy by Grant.
Well, I'm just going to chip in and say less haste speed. I've gone off the ridge.
Oh no, Alex out. So there's everything to play for. Who's in the lead out of you guys?
Do we only have one SRV, or can you? If you die, do you have to go back to the beginning point, or where are you meant to go to, Alec?
Oh, that's a good idea. I'll go back to the beginning and see if I can catch her up.
You probably can. Ow. I just span out there.
This is like Lewis Hamilton versus my kid on
shit! Big hole! Big hole! Big hole!
That way. The other thing that came out of Frontier that's coming up, actually, that's probably going to be quite exciting, is the another 24-hour charity stream that they're doing, which I know absolutely nothing about. So I was hoping that you guys could fill me in on what it's all about.
It's Frontier doing their charity stream for
Well,
special effects.
You guys,
Grant, you do
driving.
this.
Yeah, you focus on your driving, and it's something I really enjoy. Now, last year and the year before, and is this maybe year number 4?
I think it's the 4th year.
Yeah, the 4th year of 24 hours of streams by Frontier. The first year was just old Ed and Zach, and they were doing Elite Dangerous. The next year they were joined with Planet Coaster. This year we're going to be joined by Planet Coaster and, of course, Jurassic Park as well. So there's tons of content that they've got to share. I believe they're using the new community team to the maximum effect to make sure that nobody gets absolutely, stretched out to nothing. But the stream is all in the process of raising funds for special effects. They raised a whopping £56,000 last year, and I think they'll probably be set to try and smash that this year if they can. And they do that in a number of ways. Every donation you get of £1, and every pound in your donation, so if you do £10, £20, £50, £2,000, whatever, each one of those pounds will get you a ticket in the raffle that they will pull on the Tuesday morning, which is usually around about sort of 10 o'clock they do the raffle, and the prizes are ridiculous. Again, there are the hot-ass controllers of your choice. I'm not even sure if I'm going to enter. I think I have sufficient numbers of copies of Planet Coaster to do a lifetime, but I can't guarantee I won't. The other thing, so there's loads of prizes and they are listed, and there'll be more and more that appear, including things like being able to name your own planet. Then they have the auction. Now the auction is separate. It's something you go to a separate forum page for, and you're able to bid on specific items and pick your maximum bid in, and the highest bid wins. It's a blind auction.
It's a blind auction, isn't it?
Yes, so you don't know what anyone else has done, so you need to go in at your top price. And in that, you can get a system, you can get a land station, you can get which can only be described as possibly the one thing that might put me off, is a signed pop statue by Jeff Goldblum.
How far away would that take you away by proxy?
I think that takes you closer.
I think last year, with everybody pitching in for the space cow, perhaps they could pitch in for the cow getting the.
I just heard a boom there. I don't know who it was.
That was Kurgle.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the space cow skin was amazing, and I'm flying with it now. So yeah, it's the thing about the 24-hour stream. If you've never been involved in it, if you can get the Tuesday off work, do it, because it will suck you in, and it hurts to go to bed. It really hurts to leave them. It's always tons of fun. They have different community. Last year they did some EDRPG. They did a Bush Tucker trial in the middle of the night with Zach eating water beetles, and they were disgusting. They had the Frontier Band playing the theme tune to Planet Coaster, which has to be one of the highlights of last year. You have people coming in from the various departments to talk about the games and the parts that they play and their favourite things. You'll have representatives from special effects. Baz usually goes down at some point for a wee chat, and it's just a ton of fun. It's so much fun. It's just so much fun to be part of. So if you can support them, then get your pounds ready, and be ready to have some onions thrown at you as well, and to enjoy it. You know what? It sets me up for Christmas. I really get the Christmas feels from this stream. It's just so much fun. And again, if you're lucky with the auction, you will know before the stream, at which point they will be expecting you to stick your cash into the fund so that it can be all totted up together. And I'm not sure, the last couple of years your auction bids have entitled you towards tickets as well, so I'm not sure if that's the same, but I can only imagine it would be. So if you spend £500 in the auction, which you're gonna need to, then you get 500 draws. I'm not sure for sure on that one because they haven't mentioned it, but normally that's the case. Dinner with Devs is a very popular one. I think Stephen Usher's been a couple of times, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And if Jester D's in the chat, I know Jester D is a huge fan of the stream because you'll always see him, and you'll probably see Mr. Witherspoon as well, his name in the chat most of the streams, because these guys have endless energy. And yeah, it's going to be a load of fun on the 17th, which is a week on Monday. 2 weeks. So yeah, a week next Monday. So if you're listening to us on the 17th, no, it doesn't add up. 11th. It's next week. No, beta's the next week. 17th is the
Beta's
stream.
on the 11th. 17th is the charity stream at midday, which is Monday.
It's a Monday
A week of
midday
Monday.
till Tuesday midday.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yes, they appreciate people coming in and keeping them company throughout the nights as well. And you'll have the whole community team involved, and it should be spectacular. Don't miss out.
Yeah, the Monday, well, the night time is usually when the crazy stuff happens, isn't it? That's usually when they take the gloves off, shall we say?
The water.
Because of silliness.
They take the food, the taste buds off anyway.
What do we mean by throwing onion?
Oh no!
Right. Okay. It's usually detailed as cutting onions because cutting an onion makes you tear up, and they tend to play sort of charity videos showing you exactly what different special effects make. And
I see. Right.
If you're not affected by them onions, then something's wrong with you.
You're a heartless.
You don't have a heart.
Yeah.
Wow. Gosh. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I'd seen those onions a couple of times, and I wasn't becoming immune to them after last year's one. Yeah,
I mean, there definitely are onions, but I find them quite inspiring as well.
Oh God, yeah.
I do love an inspiring onion.
Yeah.
There used to be a restaurant chain in the UK that used to have a deep fried onion that was huge. Anyway, yeah. So
that sounds brilliant. That sounds super fun.
It's really nice.
I like pickled onions.
I'm not sure they're doing the bush tucker trial this year. I think they've got something else in mind. I think they said at LaveCon this year that they were thinking of doing something different because they'd kind of pushed it as far as they could for the eating bugs.
Oh shit! Well, that's quite.
Ian, I think you're the only one left.
Someone's behind me.
I'm behind him.
But I do remember last year with Adam as Mr. Blobby blowing up Ed's ship.
Yes.
It's personal shit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think Ed's actually lost his personal ship a few times now on streams.
Ow.
Yeah. This is getting a bit bumpy now, isn't it?
Are they, Alec? Are they on the red run yet?
No, I'm just coming up to the. So I went back to the start and I overtook you guys back.
Have you?
I'm nearly at the blue finish line.
Wow.
How the hell are you? Where the menu so you go past?
I've restarted, so
the blue finish line.
I'm back near the start.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, speaking of other exciting dates, we get 3.3 way earlier than we thought. Was it 2 weeks ago that we were doing?
It was only last week, I think, that we were.
It was last week we were speculating. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's way earlier than a lot of people thought. I think we were saying that they were going to need a couple of weeks to smash bugs. But this is,
I think I was hypothesizing that we might.
Maybe they
want it
still
this
do.
week, but yeah. But I also could agree with because Shan was thinking they might do it as part of the 24-hour stream, weren't you, Shan?
Yeah, it just seemed to be kind of close to the live stream date. I think, well, we'll let a few hours go by as well. So it was.
Do you think the live stream's on the Monday just so that they can avoid launch day bugs for the beta?
Well,
it's a good 6 days afterwards. The live stream.
They did mention on Ed's stream on Monday that they were pretty confident of having a launch stream on the 11th as well. Mm-hmm. But they haven't officially announced it yet. But they sort of said it wouldn't surprise me if we had a launch stream because usually these things
they usually
last quite a time. They're usually an all-day thing. So if you're looking to play Chapter 4, book the 12th off, don't book the 11th off.
Yeah. Rookie error. Never ever book patch day off ever.
No. This is getting awfully close to the edge of both sides now, isn't it, Colin? I think that's Colin.
I'm watching you spin around like a top. It's fantastic. Catching you up quite easily now.
Oh. Yeah, I suppose you're just learning from my mistakes there, aren't you?
Yes.
He's letting you go first.
Yeah.
Dick Dastardly.
Oh god, that's a big.
Okay, chaps. So I will wait for you at the blue finish line.
So what am I? I'm 60. Ouch. 61, I think I am. And isn't blue finish line? Is it 62 or 63?
62. You should be able to see my lights when you come over the ridge.
Okay. I am actually quite scared.
What's your hull at?
70.
That's pretty good.
You are allowed to repair, by the way.
I've done 70 with one repair.
Yeah, you can repair as often as.
Oh, now you tell me.
You should have read the rules.
I did go and check my how. Oh shit! I don't like doing jumps when I can't see what the hell I'm landing on, because what I'm landing on could be 7 kilometers below me.
Speaking
I'm
of
just waiting for you to fly right off the end.
Mac, do we have a Mac Winston with us?
Yes, you do.
Are you? How soon are you to doing? How close are you to doing your mass jump?
We're probably relatively soon. We will shortly go into orbit and assemble in formation and do our mass jump. I think pretty much everybody is assembled at the waypoint now. So we've had no further casualties this time anyway. So we're just about ready to.
Which waypoint is it?
It's we're currently at waypoint 4, which is about 2/3 of the way in. There's a waypoint named William Frederick McCoy Land.
That's a great waypoint.
Yeah, why is it named that?
Well, all the waypoints are named after smugglers. The last one on Saturday was Jean Lafitte's hideout. So we got all the North American smugglers this week. Jean Lafitte was actually a Frenchman. He was smuggling in the Gulf of Mexico area in the 18th century, and he actually turned into a pirate in the end, as well as a smuggler. So he was definitely one of the bad boys. I think the U.S. Navy eventually got him, though. William F. McCoy, on the other hand, was actually a bit of a hero. He was a rum runner during the Prohibition, and he used to run up the east coast of the United States in his sailing ship. And one of the things he did was he never paid off law enforcement. He never paid off organized crime. He never tainted his liquor. And he basically said, I just sell whiskey to anyone who wants it. So he'd sit outside the 3-mile limit and sell booze during the Prohibition. So anyway, he was one of the good guys, as it were. But anyway, US Customs eventually went after him, and they got a boarding party on his ship, and so he sailed off with the boarding party still on. This caused an immediate sense of humour failure from Customs, who then started shelling his ship. And at that point, he hove to, and the rest of the boarding party came aboard and arrested him, and he spent 9 months in jail for his troubles.
See, if I were him, I'd have just been like, "Hey lads, we're 3 kilometers offshore. Have a beer."
Yeah.
Apparently, Customs weren't having this. They were instructed to go after him, come what may.
Yeah.
Your smuggler knowledge is excellent, by the way.
Yes, I did a bit of a. William F. McCoy is one I've had. I named my first Gutermeyer ship after William F. McCoy because it was used for a great deal of.
I think I've just passed the blue target, so I can't actually see Alec anywhere.
Are you in a wing with him?
No, I'm not in a wing with him.
Yeah, I can see. I'm just behind you. You went with me down the side of the ravine a little.
It almost sounds like it was worth to spend 9 months in jail just for the amount of hassle it caused the Coast Guard.
Yeah, that's a really light slap on the wrist, I reckon.
Yeah, I was surprised about the rather short amount of
I've just
time
passed
he
it.
spent
I can
complete-
300 meters behind you, Ben.
And the other thing is, quite a lot of people ascribe to him. He actually used it kind of as a bragging line. He used to say it's the real McCoy, his smuggled booze, and a lot of people attribute to him the phrase "the real McCoy," but apparently it's just he just kind of appropriated it. It's actually predates him that saying. So, but if I were him, I'd have done the same thing.
So, full disclosure, how many hours did you spend researching historical smugglers for your expedition?
I don't know. I kind of lost count. I got down one of those internet rabbit holes where you sort of click on one link and you read about this one guy and it's interesting, and then you click on another and you and so on until you. Before you know it, you've lost hours going down all these this kind of complete rabbit warren of various web pages and a lot of Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Blast it.
Sorry. For the rest of us. So full disclosure from me, I did in fact blow up my courier while looking for you guys.
How did you blow up your courier?
That is impressive.
I pranged it to the ground a couple of times. I was like, I can't see them. I'll have to go a bit lower. I can't see them lower. Wait, I'll have to go a bit lower. And I kept doing this until I was basically crawling
Shit,
along.
I'm rolling.
Down. Are we down to 1 yet?
No, I'm alive still.
I've just passed it.
Hey!
I'm still going as well, but I'm only at the halfway mark on my second run.
So, Mac, how many ships have you got at Waypoint 4 with you?
Let's see. I'm trying to count what these are ships or SLVs. Let's see. There's 7, including myself right now, including the Dank of Lave.
Sugar.
What are they all smuggling contraband?
Some are escort ships. Some are smuggling. Some are more escort ships, and we'll hopefully be able to distract the fuzz around Jacques Station when we arrive.
Yeah, that would be fun. It'd be cool to be to have a couple of ships that are dedicated fuzz distractors and just like ram the police and attract attention to let you guys get.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, that we can. If we can send in some of the lighter ships in first, they'll attract all the scans, and then the rest of us can sneak in completely unscanned.
Yeah, nice. Alec, can you accept my wing request so that I can?
Hold on. Let me just land.
Hang on, Alex is just upside down. I just saw him. I saw him fly over me, inverted. So yeah, I think were you trying to reproduce that maneuver out of the Top Gun?
Exactly. Yeah,
that's the only other place I've ever heard anybody to being upside down as inverted. I always thought, like, that's so pretentious of Tom Cruise. Just say you're upside down, mate. Same thing.
That pebble's not letting me go forwards.
Right. Okay. I've got a wing beacon from. I've got a wing signal from Alec now, so I'm going to come back and join you guys.
I think
Just
Colin's
an
actually
interesting
overtaken
point.
Alec.
I could actually see the Dank of Lave in Super Cruise.
Hello, Mac. You cut out a bit there.
Oh yes, I was just saying I could see the Dank of Lave, the Dr. Toxic ship, actually in Super Cruise for quite some time. I mean, it is.
I think he is lurking around. I think
he's planning to film the live jump. I think.
I'm not sure if Toxic's streaming or not, but I know he's around because he wants to make sure he got there tonight.
The other thing that's coming up, which I don't know whether you guys saw, is they're finally pulling the plug on Mac version of the game.
Yeah, that makes me a sad panda.
Does it? Do you play on Mac?
Yeah. Oh, I don't play in the Mac because I can't play in the Mac. But when I first got Elite, I was on a Mac.
Yeah, me too. It is really more an Apple problem than a Frontier problem, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
I think they should just buy a proper computer.
That's what I went off and did.
Did you guys buy PCs just so you could play Elite Dangerous? So you did.
No,
I had a Mac that was living in it was basically living in boot camp all the time.
That's not really a Mac, though, is it? It's
not by the time it's living in boot camp all the time. But it still made me feel sad that I was living in boot camp. And then,
I mostly had a Mac at the time because I was maintaining an app on the iOS store, and you have to have a Mac for that. And it was convenient to be able to play on that as well as my computer. I totally understand why they've made this decision.
I don't blame Frontier for this.
No, not at all.
Like you were saying, it's Apple should have implemented compute shaders years ago, and now they're changed to metal, and then they've changed away from metal to something else.
From what I understand, it looks like they're going to like Atom CPUs in a year. RISC chips. So I don't think they'll be there for the performance anyway in the future.
And that raises the question: what's going to happen to Boot Camp, if anything?
I think it'll go in the bin when their new CPUs come out.
Yeah. So it sounds like they're basically going to be turning their Macs into iPads.
Yeah, basically.
Which they're already doing to the UI anyway. But I don't want to turn this into let's piss on Apple's thing, because I liked Apple. I really did like Apple.
But it's not their chosen market, is it? And you can't blame them for focusing on their chosen markets. Why spend the money they have?
This is what I'm confused about, though, because I thought that their chosen market certainly used to be graphics developers and video people.
That's what the Mac Pro is for, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is, that's what their market was 10 years ago, but their market now really is 20 million phones and 10 million tablets a year.
Yeah.
It isn't any computers that they care about.
Where am I going?
It's also, I think most OSs seem to be becoming more and more mobilified. Like Windows 10 is, with every Windows 10 update, it seems more and more like a tablet OS.
I miss typing things into the command line and making mem.sys, giving you enough free memory to run your game.
Somehow certain that doesn't surprise me.
No. Okay. I don't know who this person is, but Commander Dribnev keeps typing EX2 dest. It looks like he's got the destination for the start of one of the locations. That's 13 minus 60, I think he keeps typing, or 61. But I don't know.
Are you on site still?
Me.
Oh no, I've just made a critical error.
I'm not.
I'm plummeting into a ravine.
I'm actually having a slight technical difficulty, so I think I'm going to have to quit at this point. So good luck if you guys are still going.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
Excellent. Good.
I think Colin's behind me.
Don't forget to send in screenshots or videos, and we will get you on the scoreboard.
Thanks for joining us, Alec.
I'm assuming
Interesting.
Grant's Twitch stream of us should count, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yeah, that'll do. We can get times off that, I'm sure.
That's fine.
Okay, good. Well, drive safe.
Catch you next time.
If you can't do that, drive dangerously.
I'm definitely going for the second option. Oh, part.
Famous Lasses. By the way, we're actually assembled and ready to jump.
Cool. Let's cut to there then.
So let's see. We'll go at 21:43, and I'm typing it local here, and 30 seconds. So we're just charging our frame shift drives, heading to below ACE TFL D916, which is a white dwarf. So let's see. We've got 20 seconds remaining before we jump. Hopefully everybody's charged up. I think the film crew is bringing up the rear. And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Ignition sequence started. 2, 1. Throttle up. And we should start hearing. Yeah, they're starting to jump now. I'm being overtaken by everybody, I think. Yep, no, so we're into hyperspace. So successful incident-free exit from Waypoint 4. So we're on to the last third of our journey now. Hopefully
you
no one will
actually
crash
get
into the White Dwarf.
Can you get an incident with commanders crashing into each other on exit? Or does it just look awesome all the time?
I think it depends. You can, if you haven't actually got to the stage where it gets the countdown, where it goes 4 through. I think you're once you hit that countdown, you're basically immune.
Safe.
And I just let go my push to talk, so you probably missed half of that. But yeah, so I've also used that countdown where you actually go into the countdown before they had the current white dwarves and neutron stars. I used that as a way of getting really close to neutron stars when they were just like tiny little dots. And I got within something like 20 kilometers of one once doing that. So anyway, that's just a little bit of trivia. But you can actually use that countdown period when you're immune to get close to things that you otherwise normally couldn't.
Oh, can we break black hole exclusion zones like this as well then?
I've never tried, but I think you can. The trouble with black hole exclusion zones is they're so small. You'd have to be, you'd have to time it quite well to hit it. But yeah, it'd be interesting. I wonder if anybody's actually tried that. Oh, the other thing I've noticed, just briefly, I did some scouting of our sites in the beta, and there has definitely been a change in Stellar Forge with how the volcanic sites are generated. Because on 2 of the waypoints which I scouted in beta there are fumaroles and geysers and things, but not in the live build. So they've probably fixed a bug or tweaked something. I don't know what, but they've certainly changed the volcanic site generation for 3.3. So there's another little bit of trivia I discovered doing all this.
Excuse me. Oh, this is. I think another difference. Oh, sugar, that's awfully tight. I think another difference I heard between beta and live is on the surface of the planets, all the rocks. You've got all the rocks and random bumpy things, and they seem to be missing from a lot of planets on live. Sorry, on live you got all the rocks, and in beta you didn't have a lot of bumpy things and rocks and stuff. But I don't know if that was a bug in beta or what it was.
Yeah, I personally haven't noticed that. I saw plenty of. I went exploring on the surface, and I did find plenty of rocks and things. Maybe they've got rid of the smaller ones, but I certainly found some quite large chunks of rock while driving the SRV around.
Okay, is that Sovereign just overhead, by the way?
I'm not directly just above you. I mean, I need to be in the wing if.
Okay, yeah. I think just somebody went overhead, but wasn't sure if it's you.
Yeah, someone just went overhead me.
Oh, it's Kurgle, is it?
Alex Roberts is shooting me up now.
Scared the living daylights out of me and almost sent me off down the cliff. Thank you very much.
I was going to ask if that was Kurgle. Sorry, if that was Suv. If this is really as narrow as it feels at the moment, because this is feeling awfully narrow.
Well, except
and it's going to get worse.
Invite me to the wing, and I'll come and tell you, because I don't know where you are at the minute.
Oh, Commander Kurgle just exploded right in front of me.
Yeah, someone shot me up. That wanted bit me in the bum.
All right.
Yeah, you got killed by an Alex Roberts. Well done.
Is Alex Roberts a spectator? Or is he?
No, he
is.
An NPC.
You got shot by an NPC.
Yeah,
he's wanted though, isn't he?
Wanted, unarmed shit. What am I going to do?
Oh, okay, right.
I think it. Well, you're now a kilometre and a quarter ahead of me now, Ben. So.
Oh shit!
I am actually directly above you guys. Just completely by accident.
Yeah, this is. I'll say this for Alec: he's picked a hell of a route, hasn't he?
Yeah,
that's a lot of fun.
It's really spectacular as well. Like the colours and how dramatic it is. It's a hell of a place.
Oh, this is something I want to see. It's actually what this place looks like in in beta what the differences are.
Oh, when,
Yeah.
when the late model hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
Because that's one of the things I love about this planet is when you go down into the valleys, you've got all the fog and everything like that appears, and it's a crazy place. Oh, I'm at 63. Is it 64? That's the.
I'm at 63.39. So
Yeah.
you're...
What's the black marking point again?
Isn't it 63? No,
Is
you've
it
got to be 65
Hold
for
on.
the black.
It is.
Is it 65 for black? I can't remember.
The red run is finish line at -64, and the black run finish line is -65.
Okay, so I'm approaching black. I'm approaching red then.
Okay, something else that happened this week that I
Yes,
noticed.
let's get back on
that
topic.
I wanted to find out whether anybody else had noticed is in the power play community. So totally different thing. But the Zamina Torval power basically collapsed, and all the players stopped backing it about maybe 2 months ago. And
this isn't in the notes. This is in Sad Guy stuff.
No, it's in the notes.
Is it? Okay, I missed this in the notes then.
I added it. Okay, it's totally random, and it's more that I wanted to know whether you guys had even heard about it, because the power play community is so insular, and I'm only peripherally. I'm not in it at all, really. I just heard this from
that
somebody.
is the first time I've ever heard of that.
I'm aware of it because
definitely heard of it.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. In Apis Levitans, who's one of East India Company fleet commanders, was the leader of Torval. So we've heard the whole sorry story, basically.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So they so the Torval group were there's a phenomenon in power play called they call it 5C, or sabotage, basically, in which players pledge to a power that they wish to undermine and then work against it from within. And this happened to the Torval community to such an extent that they basically just collapsed and stopped playing. And another group, I think last week or the week before, announced that they were they're calling themselves New Zamina Torval, announced that they were picking up the mantle and were going to continue, going to become the New Zamina Torval community. But what's quite interesting is that I think something like a third of the leadership are ex-federal commanders, and the rest of them are player groups that have fought against the Imperials loads and loads of times before. So we've got if it's legit, and if they are,
I think I'm about to lose it, Suv.
I can. No, you're right. You're okay. You're still on.
I can
famous last words.
I can see you. You looks like you're right.
Handbrake.
Use your handbrake. But basically, Frontier have the challenge that a power has been taken over by players who are all of whom basically either totally at odds with the rest of the Empire community, or as some of them think, completely working against it, just to troll the rest of the Empire, basically. So I'm quite curious as to whether Frontier do anything from a narrative perspective with this, like maybe having Torval break away and leave the Empire, or something like that. I'm not sure.
I doubt it. I mean, Frontier don't, saying this in the nicest way about Frontier, they don't seem to change their storyline based on what the community's doing with it.
Well, they have done in the past. They've made the poster child for Frontier changing stuff is the Emperor's Dawn, obviously,
yes.
and then Colonia.
And remember the Lu Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's still got to be bloody blatant.
Yeah. Also, there's the fact that they haven't really invested any dev attention in power play for 3 years or something.
Oh, and this is something that's with Sandy leaving, I'm a bit sort of concerned about. Or if I were into power play in any way, I would be.
Yeah,
I think that's it. I've gone.
Oh, have we lost Colin?
Are you gone?
I don't know. Hang on a sec. Nope, I am hanging onto the wall with a Spider-Man has nothing on me.
Ben, there's an elite cutter that's hanging just over your head, watching your program. If you turn around.
Menacingly.
Yeah, it's really menacing. It's quite funny.
Who is it?
It is Commander Miggles.
Oh, it's Miggles. We know Miggles. Miggles is a friend.
Get him, Miggles.
No, don't. I feel like I'm doing quite well. I don't know if I really am.
I definitely can't take Miggles on.
Oh shit!
He's an elite cutter. I'm somebody who just got blown.
I'm at 64 though, so I've done the red run now, haven't I?
Yep, you're in the black. So
I'm in the black now.
So it's going to turn blue fairly soon.
I'm just coming up to the to 64. So
yeah, I've crossed 64. So 65 is the next one, isn't it?
65 is the end. It's the end of
the black run.
Oh, done.
And I've almost gone off twice now.
That one where I thought I was about to lose it. I think I jumped over a corner of the run. I think of the ridge.
This is quite surprising actually, because of all of the people in this who started that race, I would have expected you to go first. So I'm pretty surprised.
Slow and steady or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. You're a bit in the spotlight with your new discovery. Was that today that you made your?
It was yesterday. It was yesterday that I did that.
That's got to be the coolest Easter egg
I was so chuffed. Yeah.
So cool.
So I was watching. I was on Reddit.
Put it up on stream, by the way. The screens.
Somebody who's.
Yep. I was on Reddit and just actually
General Lee hasn't.
What's happened here?
So essentially, Ben has discovered that one of the structures in the habitation ring that you commonly see on stations is an exact replica of a very rough replica.
Low resolution replica.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of Frontier's offices that they were in when they first made Elite. Not the ones that they moved into earlier this year.
No, they're old ones. So yeah, I was watching. People were doing the usual moaning about the scale of everything in Elite and saying all the buildings are too small and the ships are too small and blah blah blah. And then, when, as usual in those streams, in those Reddit threads, you then go and get the post saying, actually, no, they're exactly right. This is how, this is why. And one of the videos that people posted was from about 3 years ago when somebody managed to break into an Orbis's habitation ring. And they were just flying around. What's that? Sorry, Shan?
Just asking Cal or whoever, can you zoom in, enlarge the picture a bit just to show the structure a bit more?
There's the best pictures are on Ben's forum thread. The ones in the show notes are not that good.
I think my forum thread should be linked in the show notes.
Okay.
But as usual, someone went off and said this, and they were just flying around inside the thing, and I was like, hang on, I recognise that building.
Someone's trying to knock me off the blooming bridge.
It's not me, is it?
Trying to knock me off the ridge.
What, in their ship?
In the ship.
So, and that's their old offices that Cal was just showing. So that's the one on the...
rolling. I'm still alive.
I wonder whether they've just snuck in any other building.
Oh, that's what I'm wondering. I mean, yeah, there's another building that looks... You see it quite a lot of places. It's like a square with a big dome in it and things like that. I don't know if that's actually a building or just like let's have this as a concert hall kind of idea or something.
Yeah, it's the kind of Easter egg that I can imagine like a fairly junior dev just sneaking in as a joke. Like it doesn't look like the kind of thing that everybody was in on.
No, it probably isn't.
I like it.
I love it. I love the fact it made it in there. I think that's great. Oh, how far am I? I'm not far now. This is getting awfully bumpy. But because the video was so old, I wasn't wanting to shout about it, shall we say?
Yeah.
Until I'd verified it was still in game. Oh, God. Ouch. Bounce.
Catching you up, Ben.
I'd like to see you do this bit. Well, if you fly over, I don't want to give you spoilers. No, I'm going to shut up. I wanted to make sure it was in game, so I went off in my alt account, which was near Lave, and I found an Orbis. I found some Orbises near there, and found a couple of places that would be appropriate. And eventually, I did find one that worked. Hang on, I've got a Diamondback Explorer here that I'm about to fly over. Maybe
Commander Prematurus.
Yeah.
Do you want me to bomb
shit! Where am I going?
No, you're good. Just carry on.
I am awfully high here
now, I think.
So Ben's nearly at the finish line. Was there anything in last week's newsletter that was worthy of note? Can anybody remember?
They've got new bobbleheads, I think it is, of the Guardian SLFs.
Yeah. Is that newsworthy?
I just said it. Does that make it newsworthy? I don't know.
I don't remember it being a particularly edifying.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest newsworthy thing there is I still am not getting my newsletter.
What? It doesn't. You don't get it in the inbox?
Yeah, I've raised a ticket about it now, but it's just not appearing in my inbox. Oh God, where am I?
GDPR blacklisted, Ben.
Where am I going?
You're going the right way. No, you're going the right way. You're reversing the wrong way, but you're facing the right way.
Am I going the right way?
Yeah.
Hello. Hi, Colin.
Yeah, just carry on.
Get off me, Colin.
Commander Prematurus says, "Go speed racers."
So Ben, have Frontier confirmed that is their headquarters, or is it like one of these coincidences they won't ever?
I can neither. I can neither confirm nor deny that Frontier have confirmed it's their headquarters. Where are we going?
That's basically no comment, isn't it?
Well, I have had a comment, but I don't know if I can say I've had a comment.
It's just a.
You just said you had a comment.
Yeah, but I didn't say that the comment said yes or no.
But the fact you had a comment is comment worthy.
Ben, you're nearly. You're on the edge.
I know I am, but I don't know if I'm crossing the edge. Is this the big jump that Alec was on about?
It's not.
Shit. Ouch.
Hello.
Hi. Christ on a bike.
Yeah, carry on the same direction you go.
If you're listening to this on the podcast, the reaction from the drivers in your imagination is probably quite accurate to what's actually happened.
Yeah, this is.
Should have.
Get out of the way, Colin.
Hey, you sod! You sod!
Colin just rammed me. Which way do we want to go, Sue?
Right, you both are facing the wrong way, so both do 180 and. Yeah,
Easier said than done.
Colin's now facing the right way, so he needs to carry on exactly the direction he's going, and you are now facing the right way. Yeah.
Well, it's 10 o'clock and we haven't got to the main discussion yet.
Oh,
damn. I thought this was the main discussion.
I've just seen that. So, main discussion was supposed to be beta. Should the new content have been in it? And by new content, obviously, it's when Frontier normally run betas, the new features are included, like sort of gameplay mechanics and things, but specific sort of discoverable items of interest are generally
they leave the mysterious things out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. So new Thargoids, sort of INRA bases, all that kind of thing has always been discovered in the live build, never the beta. And several people have been a bit unhappy over the last month that that doesn't appear to have happened, and lots of exciting discoverable things have been plastered all over social media by people in the beta.
Not only social media, though, because it was a lot of the excitable new stuff was also in Frontier's stream, not Frontier's video.
That's true. So I guess go on. Sean.
My answer to the question is it depends on how much more there is to find out. Because if we've seen everything there and they don't move the locations, I think I'll be disappointed. Because I can guarantee there are people floating around exactly where these things are in beta, ready to nab them. So I think it depends on how much there is. If this is like a tiny fragment of what they put in, then I don't think the impact is as big as it could be. But if it's like everything or most of everything, I think they should have left it out.
Well, presumably there's an element of procedural generation involved. So the Lagrange clouds will spawn when the stellar forge circumstances are right, and then there'll be a percentage chance that various anomalies spawn within those. So I imagine that there are millions of occurrences of each of those, rather than just hand-placed individual ones that people have already found.
Yeah, but everyone wants to be the first, don't they?
Yeah, fair one. I guess once we've seen all the variation, new occurrences of those variations aren't really.
Yeah, it's the first things, and we've got various items that I'm still not wanting to spoil. That are. Oh shit! I do not like rolling when it's this narrow.
Bye bye.
No, he's good. You're facing the right way, man. Carry on. So
I don't like the fact that
Frontier in there.
Yeah.
You're saying there's things in there that you've seen that you don't want to spoil.
Yeah. Oh, Colin. Do I get extra points for doing this in reverse?
No, but you lose points for drifting off topic.
I'm more worrying about staying on the ridge than on the topic. Which is probably it's probably not so good for the podcast listeners, and I do apologise for that.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I kind of hope they've got these mysterious things in the Stellar Forge, and as you say, they'll be generated.
It would be very odd if they were all hand placed. I mean, even the Guardian ruin are procedurally generated, so there's an unknowable number of.
So a finite but unknowable number.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like there is a finite but unknowable.
You missed that, Colin, didn't you?
Ow! I decided to.
I mean, do you think
my face is a break?
Oh shit! What the hell's this? This is a big jump down. Oh, language.
Do you think Frontier intentionally left those things in the beta, or do you just think someone forgot to turn the content flag off, or however they?
I would like to think it's intentional to sort of like show people, well, actually, guys, what you've seen isn't it? There's more we've been doing in the year. Yeah. I kind of hope that, but there's always that nagging doubt at the back of your mind that they left something in they shouldn't.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's the case. Go on, Kogel.
I think it is. If, like Shan says, if it's like we've seen 1% of what's actually out there, and there's actually a whole bunch more stuff of that ilk to find, then I think it's fine. If we've pretty much seen everything that they're adding and they're all hand placed, I think that will be telling.
How the frack?
On the other hand, they're kind of damned if they do and they're damned if they don't, because they've been criticised in the past for not putting some of the mysterious things in the beta, and then somebody's gone to see them and the game's crashed, or their commander save got corrupted, or something like that. So I suspect for all the procedurally generated stuff, they wanted people to actually try it out and go there and see the new shiny things, because they needed somebody to test it. And I'm not sure they've ever really been geared up to do like an NDA testing, beta testing thing just yet. So I
it's pretty
suspect that's
impractical.
probably a lot of the case. Is they've just had to go and run. They've had to make that decision. Do we keep it a secret or do we let people test it? And
Yeah,
they
it's true.
decided this time, after the heat they copped the last few times, they should let people test it.
There is another option, and that is that they are being internally consistent with very nebulous rules. So, for example, in the past, it's always mechanics and features that go into the beta, and it's narrative-based discoverable things that are left out until the live build. It could be that, this is open to comment from you guys and argument. But what if they count all the discoverable things that have been in this beta as part of the exploration update and just standard fleshing out of the game world, like fumaroles and geysers and station interiors and that kind of thing. That is a feature that like any other. Whereas things like the Jameson crash site, Thargoids, the Guardian ruins are narrative specific events that are supposed to drive the story forward, and therefore they hold those back. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good take, I think, maybe.
It's possible. I really. Somebody's got the. Somebody's got. It looks like a Frontier paint job. Condor there. Oh no, it's not. It's just the. It's just a standard Condor one. There's a couple of ship launched fighters here, folks. And both races are trying to climb an extremely steep mountain while we're discussing the beta.
Ow!
But
so
anyway,
you can't give me a lift.
Strictly prohibited. I could nudge you up with my force shell cannons if you like.
In other news, I am passing through a wonderfully named sector of space called the Pukia sector.
Ooh,
lovely.
I've got my handbrake on and I'm sliding down. Oh dear.
While these guys are attempting the final furlong, actually they're at 64.976 degrees. So they've got 20.04 degrees. Sorry, 0.2 degrees left to go to get to the finish line. But that 0.2 degrees is up a very, very steep gradient. So they're both flailing about trying to do that at the minute. While they're doing that, shall we do the shout outs? Now, some of these are things that I don't know anything about, so you guys will have to help me out. For example, who's Commander Alien?
Right. Alien is a fairly prominent member of the community, and she's just started playing X4, I believe. And she is doing a. Sorry, I'm now Christ.
No, you're good.
I'm not Christ. I'm definitely not Christ.
The second coming.
Come on,
Ben, if you can get up there and
I know.
You're on your back. Okay, so if you can, right, there's a kind of shallower way up where you're facing.
You know what? I pity who's going to have to edit this and make sense of it.
Thank you, Toxic. Thank you so much, Toxic. What? Where Colin's going?
Okay, now if you turn left, Ben, you can go up there.
So, moving on topic a little bit, has anyone played X4 or got it?
I haven't. I'm interested by it, but I haven't got it yet.
Yeah,
I think people have been quite divided on.
Well, from what I've seen on streams, and remember from playing X3, it's like Elite with menus, really.
I think I'm gonna do it.
I mean, it looks pretty and very involved and stuff, but it kind of feels like you're playing Civ 5 in Elite and stuff like that.
It's very much more a management sim, isn't it? Controlling big things and you happen to be able to pilot spaceships yourself rather than being a dedicated space simulator.
Yeah.
Or pilot simulator. It's I can't get I haven't played it, but I'm struggling to get my head around it, because some things I see, I'm like, oh, awesome, the ability to explore a space station on foot and get in somebody's ship and just have it take off with you on it. And then other things I see, and it's all like a 2D map with hexagonal segments on it where you're moving massive fleets around and sending them off mining and exploring and things. So I can't really get my head around the scale of the game.
It seems to try and want to be a bit of Eve and a bit of Elite all in one, doesn't it?
Well, that's what the X games always have been. There's been a cross of the two. I mean, the X series always has been a sort of an Elite want to be, but they expanded on the. Oh my goodness! Sorry about this. I've just gone off a massive cliff.
Oh yes, you have. You're okay if you can ground yourself and then carry on the direction.
I heard a boom.
Is he gone? Oh.
I went, and I was so close.
He was so close.
This is why there are laws against broadcasting and driving.
He was 0.1 degree away from the finish line.
What is stopping me from moving here?
Being shit.
Does that mean I have to go all the way back to the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
God. Alec, I officially hate you now, by the way.
So, Commander Alien.
Yes.
I don't know anything about her. She's streaming X4 most days apart from Tuesdays.
Most days apart from Tuesdays, yeah.
So you can watch Commander Alien exploring X4, and then catch us on the one day that she's not streaming. So that's good.
Right.
Is
there a direction I can go from this location, by the way?
Let's see if I can see.
And LaveCon, your chance to get a skin, maybe, Kegel.
Ooh.
Me, actually, who didn't get the decal.
Well, I don't have a decal either, so I can come along and.
Yep, LaveCon is oh shit.
LaveCon is not oh shit. LaveCon is a lot of fun.
LaveCon is also
LaveCon is an awesome con.
Yes.
I just trying to do shout outs while being a camera ship. Not a great combination. LaveCon in 2019 is the 4th to the 7th of July. It'll be over a weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It's. Oh my god! What the hell is that?
Standard rules apply. Tickets will probably go on sale. We have no idea. Last time it was February before they went on sale. Normally they like to get them out just sort of like in the new year, so that you can get your plans done. So Karen is very good at giving you at least a week's notice, so you should get plenty of time and warning to be able to be ready for them when they go on sale. They tend to sell out very quickly, but she tends to hold a batch back as well for a second run, and that sells out as quick as well. Nearer the time, you'll get the cancellations and stuff, so if you are desperate for alternative lodgings to guarantee that you can be there, then get in touch with Karen. You can go to laveradio.com and click on the LaveCon link and send messages through the forum. Hicks with Sticks is their company that runs LaveCon. There's camping on site, which generally gets released later on again, slightly cheaper budget for people who don't want to spend the extortionate room rates. There are hotels nearby. You don't have to stay at this one, so you could find one of the cheaper ones. And again, details of those normally go up again later on after tickets go on sale. So there's loads of options. And yeah, it's one of my favourite events of the year. And I love all the Elite event cons. So it is one that is because we've been there for 3 years now. This will be 4th year in the venue.
Yeah.
Is this our 4th or 5th year in the venue?
Yeah, I think it's 4th, is it?
Yeah, so
yeah,
I mean, you get used to the flipping. You get used to the staff. You get used to the hotel. It's awesome. It just feels like a home away from home, and you get to meet all you guys, and you know the wee tables to sit at, and you know that if you want a cheap pint that's special, you can just go down the wee corner to the next pub. It's one field over, and get an amazing meal and food and drink. I don't know why I've not been there before, but last year on the last night I went down there and it was awesome. I'm kicking myself because the beer was brilliant. That's not to say the beer's not good in the other hotel. It's just the fact that there was a
It
beer
just
there
runs
that I
out
liked.
awfully quickly.
Yeah,
It will be interesting to see who turns up from Frontier, because I mean the traditional get Sandy smashed with gin and tonics may not be a game this year.
He's
No,
still,
Sandy will
he's
be
still with
back.
Frontier. He's just not. He's just not working on ED.
What we want is we want Michael Brooks, because Michael Brooks, when he's there, he's the trap for all the would-be drinkers, because they'll stay with him and try and match him, and then they won't realise that the sun has gone up and the people coming down are coming down for breakfast, and there is nothing funnier than seeing the likes of, I think it was Dave Hughes and my brother who arrived in the room we were sharing 15 minutes before his alarm went off to wake him up for the next day's work. I love it. So
I think I've escaped, by the way. I think I've escaped.
You have? You're looking good. You've got 0.16 degrees to go. So if you can just carry on in a straight line the direction you're going. You've also got a bit of a welcome party. There's me.
Come on.
Who's that?
Oh, he's going backwards now.
Phoenix.
Does it count if I register a time for like 2/3 of a segment?
No.
Lennon
You can do your red. You can do your blue and red.
Right. Whatever anybody does, don't tell them about what killed me, because I want to just see this.
Lennon is saying that getting Sandy ginned isn't that
He's
difficult.
going to do exactly the same.
Oh shit! What am I doing?
Ben has just gone off a giant ridge and is now.
That is exactly what happened to me.
He's now several hundred feet in the air. Wow, you are high.
Can I just say to Mr. Alec Turner, he's off. He's off down the cliff.
I love the ship flying past as well.
That's got to be a boom.
That is a boom.
Oh.
Oh, Ben, you lucky son.
Suck it! Repair.
So the finish line for the Black Run is -65.
Yes.
And parked above where Edelweiss disappeared is at -64.9756.
No, he's building it.
Bad luck.
Am I going the right way, or what am I doing?
Yeah, you're going the right way.
Right.
Keep on going.
I'm not sure we're just going to keep going until Ben crosses this line. Or
Is
dies.
that the line there? I think that's the line. I have a feeling that's the line looking at the end of it.
I thought we crossed the line ages ago, actually.
Hang on. Well, if there is a line, one is meant to cross it.
65 here.
Oh no, that's the
What
final
the
one.
fracking hell am I meant to do here? I'm at 65.
Yeah,
I've
you did it.
hit 65.
Yep, you've done it. Oh,
Do I have to land it?
yes. You landed it, and down you go. Boom.
I'm stopped, and I'm safe.
Congratulations.
I thought you blew up. You completely disappeared off my screen.
No, I'm here. I made it.
Hooray! Good work.
Oh,
So, considering your time is pretty much exactly the same as our show's runtime, I reckon.
more or less.
So where is Ben on the scoreboard then?
What time do we... It's 22:22. I'm probably somewhere down. At least I didn't get a DNF. I'm claiming that.
Yeah. I got DNF with 0. How many to go?
Oh no, that last bit is a nightmare, isn't it?
Whoever's shooting at Ben, you're missing.
I know.
So the best time for the Black Run is 17. Total is 17:09. And
How the hell are you doing that in 17?
And the worst one is 1 hour and 1 hour 1 minute.
Until now.
I think I'm over that.
Until now.
So
Yeah, I
yet
think I am
again,
over that.
Lave Radio manages to get last place in every single buckyball we've ever done.
Hey, look, we're consistent.
Redefining failure.
Oh. Hey, I'm considering this a success. I don't care. I don't care if this.
You beat Colin anyway, Ben.
I beat Colin. I beat Kurgle. I even
Refresh
beat
me.
Alec, and he's the expert. At least I made it. Ow, whoever that was.
Oh, did I hit you? Oh, sorry.
Or was that you, Colin?
It might have been.
I think I'm in a right. What? I want to see what the hell I'm parked in, actually. 'Cause I think I'm parked. I'm at a weird angle.
You've completely disappeared from my screen.
Have you seen where I'm parked? That is an absolutely epic parking location. I'm parked in a cliff with an overhang, and I think that is actually the only thing that stopped me rolling down the mountain.
It is actually. Lucky son. When you went off there, I went straight into that little
knoll.
That was it. I thought that was it.
Yep. This is the kind of knoll you could assassinate JFK from behind.
Oh, tasteful.
Full kudos to Alec. That is a hell of a fun run.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I do apologise to the podcast listeners. It probably doesn't make for good audio stuff, but
I especially like that he set it up like that, west to east or east to west, so that you can follow the contour even though you lose sight of the horizon, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That actually made it a lot more accessible for me than some of the other runs I've tried.
Yeah, I mean, it was accessible in a. I'm shaking here, or something. I don't know. I've definitely got a sweat on.
You're the only one of us, of the team tonight that actually finished.
I'll claim it. I think so. That's up, and oh my god.
Yeah, you're quite a. You said Spider-Man.
I can't believe I'm stuck in that little. I don't quite know how I'm going to get out of here as well, to be honest.
I do believe self-destruct if it's not against your religion.
One thing I've completely forgot to mention earlier. The Phoenix. Can you just quickly fill me in on the Free Alliance regional telecast, because it's disappeared from the notes and I don't want to miss it.
Right, the Free Alliance regional telecast, bringing you Thargoid news on the winds of change. Yeah, it's a little news item that I'm going to start to do on a Thursday night, because it's a bit late when we actually put this podcast out live. We're normally a week behind the curve. So what I've decided to do is put together a little. I used to do these as part of the beta the 4 years ago, but I think it's about time to bring back Moist McTavish and the Free Alliance regional telecast just to cover the Thargoid news. All the rest of the news will leave up to Mr. Witherspoon, I think.
So will that be after the show proper?
Yeah, I'll probably be doing one on a Thursday night, and it'll be out on the stream.
Moist McTavish raised Thargoid, so we don't have to.
Exactly.
Good stuff.
So, yeah.
How do I see my altitude here, by the way?
It's on the.
I'm only 500 meters high. Yeah, that's boring.
Okay, well, if nobody's got anything else to bring up, I'll just want to remind our listeners about our sister station, Hutton Hospital Radio, who broadcast on Thursdays from 8:30 at http tv.forthemug.com or http radio.forthemug. Oh no, it's same address. Sorry. So that's the sort of Thursday complement to our show. And then there's
I don't know if I'd call it a compliment, but yes. There we go. Boom.
Have you blown up? Oh, he's
Yeah,
gone.
I deliberately boomed.
Otherwise destroyed. Then there's the CQC Discord for the discerning commander who likes action, which will be. I'm sure the links for all of these are on the website.
Yeah, they'll be in the show notes, but that would be Discord.me/CQC, so Elite Dangerous CQC, all one word. So
jolly good. And yeah, that's now everybody's either blown up or finished. That's it. Episode of Lave Radio. So
did we mention about Grant? Do you want to mention something about this Friday?
Yes. So this Friday will be the last of the Abracadabra shows in its current format. I'm going to take a few weeks to. No, it'll be it's been held alive by some very stubborn, amazing people who refuse to let it die. But I think it's probably fair at this point, given that all the changes in the game and all the old drabblers have moved on to other games and things. So it's been, struggling to get some good quality. Has always been struggling to get some good quality writing.
I thought you were going to say content, to be honest.
Well, no, content's all right. But, difficulty with doing all the podcasts that I've been doing and Susie recovering as well as she has, the time pressures have become so much that I've just not been able to develop it and move it along and keep it going. So it makes sense to just sort of draw a line under it, and then I want to focus more on that Friday night pub feel, for people who can't get down the pub and get with their friends. I want to try and create that kind of community feel on a Friday night. It's going to take me a few weeks to get over the backlog and get the creative stuff going. So hopefully we'll be launching that in the new year. But this Friday we're going to say goodbye to the Drabbles and bring up some of the old classics and have a bit of a party.
I do have to ask you, Grant, what happens to all the old Drabbles?
Well, we'll check that out on Friday night. I'm not quite sure. We'll just fire it up your arse.
I've got a suggestion, Cal. I've got a suggestion. You print them out, burn them, and then ceremonially put the hat on top of the fire.
Well,
and just finish with the hat burning.
If it does good, maybe what I should do is get Jeff Goldblum to sign them all, then burn them, just as an act of contempt. Sorry for all you Jeff Goldblum fans out there, of which there are plenty.
There are hordes. He's wildly popular.
He is.
But it seems to be a particularly 2018 trend as well, I've noticed. Just this huge upswell of support for Jeff Goldblum this year.
I remember when he was a weirdo. Oh, no, wait.
I know, he still is a weirdo.
He still is.
Didn't
Anybody else?
Didn't somebody mention the guy who got eaten off the toilet by the T-Rex? Talking Jeff Goldblum.
Oh.
There was in Jurassic Park, which of course has Jeff Goldblum playing the. Yeah, there's a guy who gets eaten off the toilet. I'm sure I saw a reference to that somewhere today in reference to Jeff Goldblum. Maybe I was imagining it.
It wasn't him. He was knocked into the rubble of the toilet. If we're going to go down, needless. See, I know a lot about Jurassic Park. I just choose not to like Jeff Goldblum.
There's a surprising amount of misinformation out about Jurassic Park. I've had two people swear blind to me this year that Jeff Goldblum was the star of Jurassic Park.
Oh,
Sam Neill was, obviously.
No, the dinosaurs.
Well, true that. Yeah. Good point.
I just love the classic line in that. Oh, it's a Unix system. I know this.
Am I wrong actually that the protagonist, antagonist, whatever, Nedley is actually a hero? Dennis Nedry is a hero of mine.
Is he?
Why?
Cow,
you shouldn't screw over your IT people.
Cow, I found your Christmas present from Lave Radio yourself.
No. I will cut inappropriate holes in it.
Oh, God. Yeah. For the podcast listeners, that is a Jeff Goldblum life-size cutout. Yours for only $34.97.
No, that's too cheap. That is too cheap. That goes deeply in close to the range of practical jokes. But
we could go into the minus notes.
Ben, put the link in the show notes.
We could go to a mini one, Grant. That's only £15.
Maybe get an inflatable one. No, let's move on. We're finishing.
We're finishing.
That would increase the proxy rating, wouldn't it? Oof.
So
we've got to go off
finish
air before this.
Finish it now. Finish it
cut
now.
it. Right,
Put
okay,
two
we're
in the head and one in the chest, or is it the other way? Do it now.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, if you'd like to get in touch with the show, then you can email info@laveradio.com. Go to facebook.com/laveradio. Find us at Lave Radio on Twitter. Or you can join our Discord chat channel for more of this sort of stuff by going to discord.io/Lave Radio.
I've just found something better, sorry. I have found the Jeff Goldblum sexy throw pillow.
Oh. Carry on, Sol. Just carry on. Muscle your way through it. You need to do this.
I can't. Right.
Come on, Sue. Push it out.
Or you can join our TeamSpeak server where commanders can hang out and chat. Which is
Shan, shush. Let him finish.
Lave Radio is recorded live, painfully live, on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out on laveradio.com/live/. Thanks to, who have we got? Not thanks to Shan.
Hey!
Oh, he's posted a picture of it. It is glorious. Thanks to Edelweiss, and congratulations on finishing your race. Thanks to Kurgel for joining us. Phoenix Defire for being a sober voice in the background. Who else have we had? Psycho Cow for helping out behind the scenes. Mac Winston for taking us along for your mass jump with you and filling us in on the Thanksgiving expedition. And thanks to Alec Turner for joining us and showing us his awesome new Ridge Run race. And thanks to everybody in the Twitch chat and listening as well. And looking forward to seeing you next time. If you can't fly safe, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this?
Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. You need a safe word. Space can be loaded. I'm going to see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 4th of December 3304. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Aegis squares up to Sirius over Ramtar Tech. Pilots Federation accused of far-gone discrimination. Backbench revolt threatens Empire. Frontier towers demolished in freak accident. Aegis squares up to Sirius over Ramtar Tech. The all-power Xeno study and defence organisation Aegis seems set to go head-to-head with the bully boys of Sirius Corporation over the Guardian tech championed by engineer Ramtar. Professor Tesreau of Aegis Research announced this week that home defence organisation Aegis Corps has established a defence force in Mean specifically to protect Phoenix Base, and the high-tech gadgetry Ramtar is developing there. The anti-Xeno weaponry and scanners developed by TAR have helped Aegis in its struggle to investigate the Thargoids and to drive them out of human-inhabited systems. Like Ramtar himself, Aegis wants this technology to be freely available to all, not protected by Sirius patents. There's been no official word from the Sirius Corporation, but Chief Executive Officer Lee Yong-rui is reported to have withdrawn his offer to support Ramtar's work. It's unclear whether the Sirius Corporation will back down, or if the Mean system will turn into a war zone. Pilots Federation accused of Far God discrimination. A member of the Thargoid-worshipping Far God cult this week accused the Pilots Federation of religious discrimination after getting stranded in deep space. Brother Random Badger had been exploring far and wide in the hope of finding Thargoid relics, but after making a neutron leap of faith, found himself stranded with insufficient jump range to make the return journey. Unable to escape, but unwilling to pay the cost of a rebuy for what he claimed were religious reasons, he remained trapped in the system for several days, during which he repeatedly begged the Pilots Federation to send help, while simultaneously accusing them of discriminating against him for not sending help sooner. The Far God cult has a long-standing rivalry with the Church of the Eternal Void, and it's believed that Brother Badger was unwilling to be consigned to that void. Brother Badger appears to have gone to ground after the Pilots Federation finally reached him, nearly a week after he became stranded, and transported him to a nearby system. The Pilots Federation has subsequently been besieged by commanders claiming that it's against their religion to have less than 1 billion credits in the bank, and demanding that the Pilots Federation put the matter right. Backbench revolt threatens Empire. A significant number of senior Imperials seem set to back the isolation of the Empire in a move that could spell disaster for Emperor Arissa Lavigny Duval. Senator Paul Vespasian, speaking for the group, said that there's a real fear that collaboration with other major powers might be weakening the Empire at a time when it needs to be able to stand up against the Thargoid invasion. The group of rebels plans to invite the Imperator, Duke Kaizo Mordanticus, to address a plenary session of the Senate, to detail his policies and to explain how he plans to restore the Empire's honour and integrity. Nova Imperium is known to favour replacing Emperor Lavigny Duval, and by backing it, this group of disaffected senators is edging the Empire closer to no-deal chaos and civil war. Frontier towers demolished in freak accident. The sole headquarters of the Pilots Federation was demolished on Thursday last week, during a demonstration of pyrotechnics by an enthusiastic young commander with an Irish accent. The commander was believed to have been explaining how mining could be vastly speeded up using a new system of planting charges around the fissures of an asteroid and detonating them simultaneously to shatter the asteroid, thus revealing its mineral content. He appears to have decided to demonstrate this technique using live charges, which he placed strategically around the building. All would have been well had it not been for the galactic intern accidentally leaning on the detonation button. The Pilots Federation will be holding a charity livestream on the 17th of December in order to raise enough money to rebuild Frontier Towers. The enthusiastic young commander is reported to have been fed to the Thargoids. And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.